This is Uxinity Channel on Education. This is our first talk after the summer break, and as we all know, September is a great month for new resolutions and for new plans, and we have a new academic year, a challenging one ahead with a lot of ideas and plans. So we're going to talk about how to prepare for the new academic year today as a start. And we have Coral Hall, Laura Gonzalez, and Patricia in Madrid. Hi, guys.
Hi.
And Rob Wiley and Mark Bransby are here with me in Barcelona. My name is Radmila Gurkova, so let's get started. Guys, my first question for you is, are you missing the summer break? Or you're prepared for the academic year?
You want the honest answer?
Yes.
No, it's good to be back. It's good to have a break, of course, but it's good to get back into the routine as well.
Yeah. This first week has been a slow start. It's not we haven't had to hit the ground running, so I think we've been given a chance to ease ourselves
back into it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Many people suffer from the so-called post-vacational syndrome. Is it your case?
No, I think had it been hitting the ground running, and then probably yes, but as Mark said, I've kind of been eased back into it. I've seen some classes that I haven't seen for a month, so it was good to have a catch up with them and speak with them, so actually it's been quite a pleasant start.
Yeah.
And were you missing your students, Coral and Patricia and Laura?
Yeah, I suppose I was really. I had a few classes over summer, so I didn't really leave them all behind.
Yeah, I didn't have such a break either, so.
Okay.
I also had a few classes, so I stayed here.
Just go back on holidays then. Jesus Christ.
Excellent. Okay, so let's start with objectives, because this year is full of ideas and objectives. So do you have any personal objectives and professional objectives related to teaching, to growth, to your professional career?
For me, I mean, sorry, I was just going to say, I mean, in terms of kind of personal, I mean, it's personal objective, but it's also about the students. So I've had students that I've known for a long time now, been with me for more than a year, so I've been seeing them on a week-by-week basis for over a year now. And yeah, personally, I'm trying to always find new challenges, so I want to find new ways that I can challenge my students. And so a personal objective for me is how to challenge the students more, again, this year. Not always in terms of kind of improving their English, but like different ways to teach them, different kind of methods of learning, how to kind of mix the class up a little bit. So that's my kind of challenge to myself this year, is to challenge my students.
We actually can devote a proper talk to that.
Yeah.
Next week. That's a great challenge. How about you, Mark?
I would. I think you could always improve as a teacher, and I certainly can. So I think that I want to make sure that I follow the structure a lot more. That I give a lot more of myself to the students and see them develop. As you were saying, I want to actually see growth and how they improve and be able to measure that. I want to improve my marketing skills. It's something which I am sadly lacking. So I think it's developing on all fronts. I think it's you look back and think what you've done, and okay, sometimes you can think not done too badly, but I tend to look at how can I improve on all fronts. So there's lots of improvement, lots of room for improvement.
Yeah, individual and as a team, especially our team here at Uxinity. Yes. Okay, and how about you guys, Coral, Laura, Patricia?
I think for me, I've started getting a lot of referrals from my current students. So I'm going to work on creating a referral strategy, whether that includes a new type of leaflet with my details on, but with an Uxinity brand, and basically to encourage my current students to refer me more. And also maybe to my student for recommendation or a free gift or something like that, some sort of scheme that I can implement like that, because for me that works, and it's worked with 3 new customers this time. So
Excellent. Yeah.
that's my
That's very, very interesting. Yeah. In fact, now that we are in this new environment, which is completely, at least for me, is completely new, they do have a policy, like a referral policy, and it's in my former job, it was something that we used to do even with the employees, and I think it's actually very good, and it works very, very good.
yes.
And it's a very fast way to be known all over the place. So
yeah,
it's very interesting.
it's word of mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But with a reward, people
Yeah.
love that at the end. So it's actually very, very interesting.
I know what I'm about to say is like super old school, but it is actually important just to have like one card, like a business card. It can be the simplest thing in the world with your name, with your phone number, or I guess there's a way of like coding the website / with your name on it. So what happens is that I've been teaching a lot in like restaurants and like coffee shops, and literally I had 2 people approach me like, "Oh, are you an English teacher?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I had to like write my information in like a piece of like random paper, which is, to me, I was like, "Oh, this is it's funny to see people coming up to you. Like bartenders have come up to me,
Yeah.
random like regular people. I'm like, yeah, of course I teach English, and that is lacking. Like for me, I realized, oh yeah, I do need this like, piece of thing, even though it's as old school as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And it is what we say old school, but it's worked. That's why it's old school. Sometimes we shouldn't throw out the old ideas.
No.
And I agree with you. I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
The business cards is great, and that's something that I don't know. Just a suggestion. Perhaps Oxinity could do at a charge for the students. It's something that somebody could bring together. If you want 100, 200 business cards, pay us €10 and we'll produce them for you.
Business cards, it's a good idea. There are 2 ways of doing it. Everyone can design their card or we can suggest obviously a design. I've come across very creative proposals that represent better the idea of the individual traits of the teacher. So this is just a suggestion for those who want to go for their own design, absolutely fine. Or to go for a simple design that would say in co-branding with Oxinity, it's perfectly fine as well. So yeah, absolutely. And eventually I agree with you guys that we have practices more than old school and current practices that work and that don't work. So this one is definitely something that works. But I'm going to skip some points. We're going to go back to them. But in this regard, let me ask you something about it. It's kind of linked to the business card, but I'm going to broaden it. So more than a business card, I think that each of the teachers here has to have their business presentation. Understood as when I Google you, for instance, what am I going to find about you? Because all of us have or should have a teaching persona, and we have to transmit something. So, for instance, when you write blogs about legal content, Mark, I understand that your specialty is legal English. And I think that every teacher has to find their niche, and in the communications that they deliver, they have to reinforce that idea. Yes, I'm an English teacher, or in Patricia's case, the military English. Every time she blogs, it's about that. So I'm sure that all these little actions can build actually your presence. Back to promotions, because Mark was talking about promotions. Here, I want to say that in marketing, we all have to learn, and we will do it as a team. We'll have to learn what works and what doesn't, but more than, and obviously ask for help that will come from professionals of the marketing. As teachers, we can do other things that are as effective and can help us gain students. So what are the practices that you guys have seen that work with you that we can share with the rest of the teachers? What works for you, for instance, Patricia and Coral?
Yeah.
Back reviews from my students, and I'm going to utilize them, you know, on all my sites. I'm going to use the feedback that I get from my classes on the system, and I'm going to produce them into my website so that, you know, that I'm using that feedback.
Yeah. Coral, just a quick question as well, just out of interest. You know, when you found these referrals, has that been because you've told your current students, oh, if you know anyone, can you pass on? Or is that just they've naturally done it? They've naturally done it, yeah?
It's automatic, and that's why I'm thinking it's why am I not pushing this more
of course.
by leaving them to say, if you refer me, you get €10 off your next class.
Yeah.
You know, and automatically they would think, oh, do I know anybody?
Like a little scheme.
Yeah, maybe I know. You know,
Yeah.
and it gets them advertising for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because I think that's been the most effective way as well, right? Word of mouth. You can't beat word of mouth.
Number one. Strategy
You
number
can do
one.
all the, you know, social media, etc., but you know, if you give a good class, there's no reason why that person is not going to tell their friends or, you know, their colleagues or whoever, you know. So that's why it's interesting to know if you had mentioned, oh, by the way, because I guess most students would be happy to as well, you know, if you said to them, right, okay, if you know anyone and you hear anything, can you just put my name forward? I'm sure.
Well, certainly
they
if
would
there's
be
an
more-
incentive,
Yeah.
definitely, just a small token incentive.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. You were saying obviously about some people wanting to find a niche, and I think that is important, and we all have strengths. Patricia, you were saying about obviously sort of military background, and obviously my background is legal. However, when we're searching for those referrals, I'm not literally looking for people who are interested only in legal, and I'm not necessarily. And I think this is because we work as a team. We're a cooperative and a family. I'm looking for students for Coral, for Rob. I'm looking for everybody. So if I hand over a business card with me wearing a a judge's hat or something like that, that's going to put off a lot of people because I'm not interested in that. But if it's general, I think because when somebody comes up and approaches you, for example, in a bar, they might not necessarily be specifically listening to the content, but that person speaks English.
Yeah.
It's an English class. So I think that in a way, having that choice, if people want to promote the fact that they know about geology, and that's it. That's fine. But for us as a team, we want to promote us as a team. So, you want to learn English. Actually, I'd like to focus on this. Well, actually, I know it's great teaching.
Yeah, this is a great idea. Actually, one of the methodologies that we're implementing this year is precisely working in teams. Because we're all a community and eventually we're all a resource for each other. We know that. But then smaller units, smaller teams that can help, people that can help each other to achieve exactly that. I like it. I like that idea of English is English, no matter if you use it for legal purposes or medicine or whatever. So I'm here to teach English. And if there is someone that...
I've always thought that the fact of promoting ourselves or to sell ourselves within a specific purpose, like me, military, or Mark with the legal thing, is like it doubles the possibilities of getting students. Because an English teacher who's, very good at legal or medicine or whatever, is going to be good at general English as well. So we don't have like 100 websites from 100 teachers. We have 200 websites. The general English one, which is obvious, and the specific one. So, and you said something very interesting about the team working thing. Like one of the things that Radmila and Jonathan were thinking about, and they said to us here in Madrid, is like create small teams to approach short-term goals maybe quickly. Like if you have a look to big companies, they all work by projects. They have a project for whatever customer, they have a project for whatever target, whatever. So we can do actually the same. I mean, we are not a small company anymore. I mean, we are 100 people plus the people who don't teach, who are there as well. So I think that we could actually get into this like small target short-term goals with small teams of 5 people. Like, I don't know, have a leader every week, rotating or whatever, and fulfill stuff that we need to fulfill now, because we have September, everybody's looking for a teacher, but we will have October as well, because a lot of people will try teachers in September and won't like them. So we have to be there to say, hey, your teacher, maybe that teacher wasn't for you, but I'm sure I'm going to be for you. Or if it is not me, it's going to be somebody from my team, because I know them, because I know how they work, because I know their skills, and this is something that we have to exploit as soon, the sooner the better.
That's a great idea.
Laura, you were sharing with us that every teacher has to have, you recommend like a roadmap. Can you explain that concept a little bit of how teachers can create their own strategy?
Yeah, I think that what's helped me is like to visualize things. And when I say visualize, I literally like putting it in a piece of paper and creating some thought bubbles or connections or anything that. And I think once you start doing that, then you force yourself to and it's like, okay, what's my approach? Am I going to cater to like Patricia one thing, or am I going to be a cast a wide net teacher approach? And then you're like, okay, this is going to be the thing that I'm. And then on the second week, you like start realizing, oh, this is my. What are the websites that I want to post? I made a decision. When we started, Maria gave me this huge list of websites to promote my, and I'm like, you know what? I'm only going to concentrate on because otherwise you go insane. And like Patricia has such a good point. If you don't visualize short term in like a small unit, you won't get it done. In my case, because it gives me anxiety, and I see this whole thing and I'm like, oh my god. But then you break it up a little bit and you have like small units and you tackle each. So, for example, I have my like ads on super specific websites, which are the only ones that deal with teaching and personal classes. And then I left the other ones, and I'm like, nope, that's not going to be the thing that I'm going to do, because otherwise I won't get it. It's better to have like 5 really good, catered, targeted language, hashtag, to have like a bunch of just half-baked promotions, in my opinion.
I agree with
Absolutely.
that. Absolutely. In fact, we've been discussing in the previous meetings with the teams here in Barcelona to concentrate on a regular basis on 3 channels. You say 5, yeah, it makes sense, exactly. But no matter if it's 3 or 5, it has to be very regular. So we know where students go to find teachers. So these are the marketplaces that we definitely have to be, all of us, for different purposes. But if we have that regularity that every now and then I'm going to make myself visible in the first page, we're going to definitely achieve it. So we're going to, after the talk, we're going to give again these marketplaces to the teachers so that they all have presence there, and that alone will help a lot people find us. It's not so. Then we can think about marketing issues, but if we cover the objective number 1, which is visibility, then we have a lot of it achieved.
The internet, hashtag the world we live in. For my 5 ads that I focus on weekly, I try and boost it. There's things on each website like boost it, ask for a recommendation, ask Patricia for a recommendation. There's these algorithms, and they see that I've been recommended, and then my ad pops up. Sometimes I renew it, I change it. Some weeks I just refine the language. Once you click, open, edit, update, it's like this living organism, the internet of it's floating 101010, but it makes sense. You just have to keep tweaking it and click and update and click and edit, and tending to it like a garden weekly, and that's how it stays on top.
And this is very good what you're saying, about recommendations and stuff like that. If we work in teams, we can do that, among us every week, every day, every time. I don't know if I'm in Coral's team, you know, and I know that Carlos is posting stuff on Facebook. I can actually share it myself on my own Facebook and stuff like that. And you know, 5 people are like, you know, I mean, they can move around. You can publish for your 30 friends, and in a minute you're, you know, getting to 300 people. So I think that is very important to have that connection. Like, we need to, you know, behave like cells. You know, just send the message, and we have to, all of us, we have to transmit that same message. Because we need to be fast, very fast. Now we are like, you know, we are in this is the best month of the year, and we are not there the first ones. I'm not going to be there. So I think that is a very good thing, like to have a network, a very small network, working with the rest of the networks, because we will be like 5 people working with another 5 people, 5 people, 5 people. So at the end, we will be like 50 people producing a lot, and very fast. Well, it's an idea, we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so what else can we do? Rob, I think you had...
Yeah, I mean, we can continue this and then come back to that.
Okay.
Or, do you want to do this now? I don't know if you had anything else to add to what, before we move, because this is kind of moving on.
No, I agree with these points of view. I definitely think that the best thing that we can exploit are these 3 to 5 channels that Laura was telling about, plus referrals. The word of mouth is the best, maybe, and the easiest also way for good teachers. So we have to mind quality. In this regard, let's talk a little bit about quality, because word of mouth is based on, I mean, our students are going to talk about us if we deliver good classes. So we have to work on, in aligned with what you said, like improving our teaching skills and always looking for, you know, how we can become or be better teachers. This is quality. So quality has to be really, really our goal number 1 once in class. That will give you the rest. We were talking about how to conduct a class, not to force the student to go again and again, work on something that they already know. Because if they do well in class, that means that the class is not challenging enough. So we need to provide challenging content so that student eventually learns something.
I think that there are 3 aspects to a good class, and primarily you need to be a good and focused teacher. And I think we all have that ability. We're focused, and we're motivated to be good teachers. So that's good. The second thing is the method that we use, the Oxynity method, which I believe in, and I think is a really, really good method. So we have 2 out of the 3. The third aspect, obviously, is the activities. The activities, that's an area where, again, there is an opportunity for improvement. Some great activities, some not so great activities, and that's an area that we can focus on. So getting the student is one thing. And then engaging with them because of our personality. Coral's a different personality from me, but nonetheless we can both appeal, hopefully, to the same people in different ways. But so that doesn't, in a sense, it doesn't matter who we are. We're motivated, and we're all good teachers, and we can engage. But at the end of the day, the tool that we have, the activities, and that's the way that we actually convey the message in the manner that Oxynity wants us to do, and that's that third element. And that, to me personally, being polemic, is the one area where perhaps we can just raise the bar a little bit across the board.
So I agree, and maybe now is the time to ask the teachers, like, what would you like to ask the people, all the people that create activities and that produce content? Let's send them a message now. Oh, what type of activities do we want? Because I've been correcting activities, and the people that write activities usually are very careful with the content, but from the user's point of view, what would you tell them?
First of all, think about how this activity is going to be presented to a student or students. One attachment with "this is target language," and on the teachers tab, ask the students to make up sentences using target language. I've seen that as an activity. anybody can do that. It is, and it's not inspiring. Think about how the activity is going to inspire. It's going to motivate. It's going to spark the individual. Whether it's grammar, and we think sometimes grammar and structure can be a little bit dry. No, adapt it. You can use exactly. You can have some great fun with the language. The English language is a brilliant language to play with. Yes, especially the sounds. You start saying to people, you know, I'm an English person, so I apologise for the different sounds of vowels, and they love it. You know, when people listen to that, they think, yeah, this is really difficult. You understand how difficult it is for us, and that's great. Topics, current events are really inspiring. Now, sometimes you look at them and think, these are dry. Someone's just copied and pasted something from a web page, and they just say, discuss this.
Discuss it, and it's just boring.
It is. We're there to inspire. We're there to
bring a bit of personality to it.
Exactly.
Stamp your like when you're creating them. Try and put your personality into it.
For example, simple things: mix and match of languages, of target language. Give the answers, because as a teacher, sometimes I look at it and think, well, actually, which one do you mean?
Yeah,
Please,
exactly.
it takes 10 minutes to transfer the target language onto the teacher's page and give the answers.
10 seconds.
Think about how the teacher is going to use that. They don't want to have to be second guessing activities. And secondly, think group. Think individual. Yeah. How am I going to use this activity in a group, or if I'm one-to-one?
Online in person.
Oh, online in person. Exactly. So the activities are the tools that we use. Don't spend 10 minutes doing an activity. Spend an hour doing an activity, because it's going to be worth it. You're giving that little tool, that piece of information that's going to be used in hundreds of classes. It's worth the effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And especially most often newer students as well. I think we're experienced enough. We can make these adaptations, but I think it would be an amazing help for new teachers. You know, maybe who are not so comfortable being able to make those adaptations, just to make small things like you mentioned that don't take a long time but make a huge difference.
Yeah.
On your part, guys, do you have anything to add to that? The quality of the product, the quality of teaching?
Yeah, I actually was preparing for a children's class, because usually with activities you have to prepare a little bit more. And I opened one of the activities. Yeah, you're aware. Done. She had activity for child, and
Well, I have to confess that.
Didn't quite hear that. So sorry about that. So
she had done the most amazing activity, and I just thought thank you, and I actually sent her a message through Teams. Just to say thank you, because it was thorough. It had an activity to produce. It was ideal for the age group. It was just perfect.
Wow,
really good.
Amazing.
And we need more of.
We need more of that, and we need these people that are able to produce such great activities to pass on the experience and the knowledge to the rest. So definitely a meeting devoted to that will be coming soon. Anything in?
Couple of things. Louisa said teachers have to ask the students what they think about the classes. So I think we all do that. We can see the comments as well, so they can do
the comments and the stats, stats that you have on performance.
Yeah.
That is self-regulating too. Fantastic.
Yeah, and he said also about what skills they feel they need emphasis on. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of do that as well. I was saying yesterday to my students, and new and old, if you've got anything, just let me know and prepare something specific for that. And then one from Graham, so shout out to Graham. Miss you, mate, you got to come back and sit here. So he asks a question: is there a video presenting the benefits of Auxinity Online system in Spanish that we can use to showcase the system? and not just our individual teaching abilities. So kind of like a video, I guess like a
Yeah.
presentation of Oxinity.
We do
That-
have it.
You got one
actually.
there?
Yeah.
As he feels it would be a good idea to attract students. Yeah, it could just be a short video. This is Oxinity, this is what we do. You could show them in Spanish.
Yeah, we have it, but he's right. Maybe we need much more
There you go,
videos
Graham.
and tutorials.
Guess what
yeah.
you're doing Monday afternoon?
Exactly, for the
Yeah.
different purposes, because one video for to show such a variety of things, probably we need more than one. But yes, there is one. I'm going to share it with the teachers so that they know. All right, so I mean, thank you guys. Anything else on your part? Anything else that you would like to add?
No, it was very interesting. I learned a lot.
You know, coming back to the activities thing and to challenge the students, I would love to, I don't know, create every so often, like with the content of the activities, like with the grammar, you know, a structure that we are meant to teach that day in special, like create a different thing, like, I don't know, ask your student if he's, you know, willing to allow you use your kitchen, his kitchen, so you can actually cook a recipe from your grandmother, using actually the grammar structure, you know, basing that class on that grammar structure. Like if you have to teach present perfect, you know, you can be like all class saying, oh, have you ever tried this? Have you ever, you know, cook, whatever, and things like that. So we can actually make that class in an immersive environment. The student is not actually getting, you know, any of all the work behind this class, but he's actually, you know, enjoying and learning the English through, you know, another different platform. So maybe we could actually every so often create one activity like that. Obviously, you cannot do that on the first class, you know, with somebody else that you don't know. But if you have a good relation, like, hey, I'm your teacher, I'm going to your class.
I'm going to help
It could be
you.
worse. You could be, hi, I'm your teacher. I'm going to your bedroom.
Yeah, imagine that. Well, no, it's an idea to have actually. No, but seriously, like create a different atmosphere or use another ways as well to teach.
It's true.
And also,
Welcome back.
and also, I mean, I've had like not that many classes. I don't just open my computer. I mean, well, computer, but I don't just go like, okay, activity, go. I spend like the first 10 minutes or so, like literally being, hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. And we like, I make sure that I'm like, you know, I'm approachable and like, you know, that we're literally two strangers meeting for the first time. And I ask about their job, their hobby, anything that they like. So now I know that when I make an activity and I happen to have the same student, I have an engineer, I have a guy who does cheese, I have like, I know, seriously, I have a dancer and all of these things. Like as I pick like contemporary news, you know, themes, or something that's contemporary, I literally like do it about like the things that they are interested in. So now I have to make an activity about cheese. Seriously, there's so many words to learn in the cheese making process, and now I'm like, okay, cheese making it is, you know. So little things like that. It doesn't have to take you too long. It's just like be courteous, you know, like be generous to the student. What they like.
Yeah, because they're going to appreciate that little extra effort that you've made, right? They
Yeah,
really
for
care
sure.
about
Yeah.
me. They really give me kind of one-to-one,
Yeah.
what's the word? Attention.
Attention.
let's say, yeah.
But I think this is, I mean, obviously we introduced, but obviously by using the quick questions, it's adapting the quick questions to the individual. You can use it. It's you don't have to slavishly read out what's there.
Exactly.
You identify
Anyway.
with the student and say, okay, how can I use these questions that are going to be personalised?
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. I agree with you, Laura. You need to individualize the class. Make that student think, hey, this activity, this class is for me. It's not just off the conveyor belt. Doesn't matter if it is off the conveyor belt, but you've adapted it for them.
Exactly, the human touch.
Graham's just got one more question for you. He
Okay.
says, what do you teach in the bedroom?
I just give everybody a free class at the start. So if he wants one, that's fine. First lesson is always free.
Then they come back for more.
Courtesy.
And on that note,
Excellent. Well, fantastic talk. Many thanks, guys. That was very helpful, fun talk, and I hope to see you next week on Friday at 12 sharp. Thank you.
Cheers.
Have a lovely weekend.
See you guys,
Bye.
Manish.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Ciao.
Bye bye. Bye bye.